So Eurovision's coming up, as you know. So my first question for you is, what made you want to participate at Eurovision, and how did you decide it was the right platform for you?
Oh, like for us, it's quite a weird thing, because it's quite funny, but we're actually really big in Belgium, like and we're big in Belgium, and so people didn't really expect us to participate, like, but we're longtime fans of the festival. Since I was a kid, I'm watching it. Raymond as well. Hieke watched it as a kid, and I just, like, I just enjoy the diversity of the festival, all these different cultures, different songs, different languages. And for once, we didn't want to kind of watch it on the couch, but we really wanted to participate and be there, But so yeah, that's why we're participating, because we're just fans of the festival, It's and of course we're also proud that we can be there for our country, But mostly we're there for ourselves, to be honest.
Okie dokie. So once it was confirmed that you'd be returning to Eurovision and you began to prepare for this year's contest, did you find that your experience preparing for Eurovision last year helped you at all?
It actually did, yeah, because last year we had like some kind of, yeah, rehearsal. We went to all the stages last year. We, from writing the song, recording the song, making the video, but also the staging. The dress was like, designed. It only had to be made, so that gave us like, a different kind of point of view on the festival. And also, Release Me showed us a different kind of side of the festival. All these fans online, with their own ideas and their own videos, and it's really like, it was just fun to see that there's so much people who are living a whole year, like, for that festival. So that kind of gave us a good kind of, idea of what the festival was, and it helped us definitely this year to kind of try to maybe even do better. Although last year on the alternative online version of the festival, we did quite well. We ended fifth, so that kind of puts a lot of weight on our shoulders this year. That's a pity. Like, it gives us, and in our country, if we're not top five, they're gonna kill us. So it's like, yeah, it's a
No
little bit of stress.
Yes.
So the most notable change from your 2020 performance to your performance this year, besides your song, of course, is the change in lineup. Can you tell me
Yeah.
a little bit more about how that came about?
Well, yeah, actually, like, for those who don't know Hooverphonic, we're a band already. We already exist from 95, 1995. So that's a long time, We've been on the road for 25, 26 years, had quite some success in Europe and in America. We're basically an indie band. And the most weird thing about the band is that we had different singers, like we started off with one singer in 95, like when we were writing the demos. By the time we were signed by Sony Music, she left, and then another singer came. Then we started touring internationally immediately, and that singer got like homesick, so she didn't want to go on the road all the time. And then Hieke came, and she stayed with us for 11 years. And then she started. Hieke was really young when she started. She was 17. Imagine. And so by the time she was 28, she wanted to
I had to search my own path a little bit, be on my own, and find
definitely
out new challenges and stuff.
So she went to record some albums of her own, and then we worked for 5 years with another singer. Then she left to make some records of her own. But it's like, Hooverphonic is more like a collective. It's like always people working together. And then last year we were working with Luca, and at some point Hieke called us for something completely different, something very kind of practical, a television show she was participating in, and he wanted to make a cover of an evergreen track of ours, Eden. And I said, like, yeah, sure. What are you doing? What are you doing? We were starting to talk, and there was immediately a new spark. We felt it was like, so we immediately felt, the three of us, that it would be great to work together again. So that's what we decided. And it's a pity for Luca, but like, because of course she wanted to go to Eurovision as well. but it was stronger than anything else. And a lot of our fans, worldwide really are very happy that Keke is back, because for them, she's the most iconic singer in the band. But it had nothing to do with Eurovision. It was something we decided alongside Eurovision. And then, when we decided that we would kind of proceed, the three of us, we told Keke, by the way, we're going to Rotterdam. And she was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And so that's how she's gonna end up on stage in Rotterdam, we tricked her.
Oh, wonderful. So this year, alongside a live performance in Rotterdam, each act is being asked to perform a backup performance just in case they can't perform in Rotterdam. Can we expect the staging on your backup performance to be similar to your live performance, or do you plan to make any changes to it?
There are changes. It's not exactly the same. It is in the same spirit, but of course, the pre-recorded version, we could choose our own environment and stuff. So we were not on stage in Ahoy, So it was different. So it's slightly different, but with this kind of similar approach. Same dress, of course. The dress is beautiful. It's gorgeous. So we couldn't throw that in the bin. We needed to use that again. So but it was quite stressful, because you had to do this pre-recording live on tape with like 2 people watching from the EBU. You had 3 chances and that was it. So it was but it went well. So we were happy. But still, we would love to do it live. That would be great. Hopefully. Yeah. We are testing each other every day, every day, COVID test. We really, really don't want to get sick. We really want to go to Rotterdam. We have a great hotel as well. So we just all ready for the hotel we want to go.
That sounds wonderful. So this year sees the 65th edition of Eurovision take place. Do you have a favorite Eurovision song or a favorite memory of the contest?
Oh, so many, so many, from when I was a kid, when I saw Bucks Fizz, 2 girls and the 2 boys, and the boys, taking the skirts from the girls. I was like, my mom was kind of shocked. She's, what is this? This is Eurovision, but also, I'm Bisschen Friede. I hate that song, but I'm Bisschen Friede, like Nicole, but I don't like the song, but I still see that white 12-string guitar. But also really great songs, even before I was born, Frans Gal performed Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Son, written by Serge Gainsbourg. It's a fantastic song. Whenever I'm in France and I'm opening the door, for a lady, I sing Vicky Leandro's Après Toi, But also recently, Salvador Sobral did to be honest, I think that's one of my favorite songs ever. It's not old, but I think I still remember. I didn't have that year. I didn't have time to kind of see all the stuff up front. So I just was sitting in front of my television. He came on, he started singing, and immediately I said to my wife, I said, he needs to win, this is so good. And he then won, and it was fantastic. But yeah, I think it's all different. You like
yeah, well, you know what, I go I watched it a little bit longer than these guys, because
he's older, so
I'm older, so I watched it from the late 60s, so I still have memories of that. I thought it was a cool period as well, because then it was still with a real orchestra, and there was still something special. And then it was totally, everything was live, the music was live, the vocals were live, everything. And
you had a conductor, you brought your conductor and a singer. Fantastic.
That's so amazing.
Raymond, you're now kind of telling her that we're really old, that we know this, and that we've seen that, and that we were there when actually Raymond kind of found out we are the 2 oldest on the festival participating. So we're already winners,
we're the oldest. 2 years in a row. Yeah. No, but yeah, I have my favorites too. But Nonoletta is one of my favorites, because that was one of my first memories of the Eurovision Song Contest. I still, and for one reason or the other, it just burned in my memory, and and I looked her up, and she was a very beautiful Italian girl.
That was the thing.
I mean, if the ear can be pleased, the eyes can be pleased also.
But what I also remember is we were once, In 2005, we were performing in Istanbul, you know, at the university, at Galatasaray University. We were playing a gig. Kylie Minogue was on the radio. I Just Can't Get You Out of My Head was like a major, massive worldwide hit. And after the show, we came in a backstage and there was a television and Eurovision contest was on. And so immediately we started watching, and that was the year that Lordi won with Hard Rock Hallelujah.
Yeah.
With the masks, you know, I still remember that. That was great as well. But that already shows, you know, from Salvador Sobral to Hard Rock Hallelujah, it shows all the kind of different kind of
genres and
faces of the festival, you know, from Hard Rock Hallelujah being almost like well, it's more than acts.
Yeah.
And Salvador Sobral is all about just intimate beauty, you know. It's like it's so yeah, it's but yeah, it was a great gig though, that back in 2005 at the university. Guys were all singing along with the songs, and also not only with the hits but also with the album tracks. And we thought there was like some candid camera or something. We thought like, this is not possible, they're all singing along with these very obscure songs of ours. How come, you know? But we knew why when we went backstage. Lordi won.
Oh, wonderful. So as we touched on slightly before, this year marks 25 years of Hooverphonic. What would you say is the most important thing that you've learned in that time?
Always stay true to yourself, I guess, is the most important thing. And that's sometimes easy and sometimes difficult. But you need to kind of stay truthful to yourself. Hence the reason why last year we were not that popular with Eurovision fans, but you know, like, it's just, you know, you gotta be who you are, do what you need to do, and never think about anything else, because, you know, like, it's really, that's a question we get often, is like, you know, why do you participate? You already had a career, isn't it dangerous? And then we say like, no, as long as you're true to yourself and you play the music you really truly believe in, there's no harm, you know. Like, we just play Hooverphonic music, and now we're gonna go to Eurovision, but The Wrong Place would also have been our next single, even if we wouldn't have gone to Eurovision, you know. So I think that's the most important, you know. And a lot of I think with Salvador Sobral it's the same, you know. He was there as him, you know, as what he's all about. And people sense and feel that kind of like genuine touch of somebody, you know. So yeah, that's I think the best advice we can give, you know. And have fun, also very important. Also important, you know, like, don't take it too serious. It's like, you know, life is too short, don't always take it too serious. It's just enjoy the moment.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a really good point. Touching on something that you said, your new album, Hidden Stories, is due to be released on May 7th. Were there any other songs on the album that you were considering sending to Eurovision at any point? Or was The Wrong Place always the song that you wanted to
No, of course, we wrote a lot of songs. Because I strongly believe you need to do that. You can't just write one song and say, this is going to be the song. I think it's really good to write a lot of songs and then choose the one that you think is best, you know. So, but there's plenty of songs.
Yeah, well, there's one good trick to find out which songs they are on the album. Yeah, well, you have to find out yourself. It's got something to do with time.
The work title of the album wasn't Hidden Stories, it was 3 Minutes of Fame, you know, like, because Eurovision is like 3 minutes and that's it. Songs that are 3 minutes probably were written for Eurovision. But it's funny, The Wrong Place wasn't actually. There was one of the tracks that I didn't write for Eurovision. I wrote it together with a young girl, Charlotte Forêt, and it was right after the first lockdown, and it was just kind of more to learn to know each other. Like, a friend of mine set us up. He said like, would you like to write together? And I said like, yeah, why not, you know. And she came to my studio right after the lockdown, so first human being sitting in my studio together with me, which was great, you know. And the first thing we said to each other is, let's write a song for fun, you know, just like, there's not a particular goal. Let's just see where we end up. And the first thing we also said was like, let's write a song about everything that is suicidal right now. Touching a stranger, kissing a stranger, having a one-night stand with a stranger, it's like, everything that you shouldn't not do right now, let's write a song about all these things you want to do, so and that's how we ended up with the song. And at lunch we listened to the radio and we heard Johnny Cash, and I said as a joke, like, maybe we should try as a challenge to kind of incorporate his name into kind of, like into the lyrics of the song. And at some point, it magically happened. At some point, we came to the point in the song where we needed a catchphrase, and that's where the sentence, "Don't you ever dare to wear my Johnny Cash t-shirt" comes from.
Oh, that's really interesting.
But I have to say, it's also because I love a movie called The Wedding Singer, with Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
And at some point, he says to his girlfriend, take off my Van Halen t-shirt before David Lee Roth gets jinxed or something. So he says, so yeah, it's not exactly the same, but you see, that's the thing. That is the cool thing about creativity. It's like sometimes you hear something, you see something, and then you reinterpret it. Like back in the days of Bach, it was actually not. It was not plagiarism if you would take a melody from a colleague and rewrite it. It was very common to do so. Nowadays, of course, you can't do that. But back in the days, not that this was plagiary, but it was definitely inspired by a movie. Definitely.
Oh, wonderful. So besides going to Eurovision, how are you planning on promoting your new album? Can we maybe expect concerts in the future?
We're definitely gonna go tour in Europe in fall if we're allowed to, because of course it's a big question mark. But we're definitely planning on touring Europe in fall. Next year we're gonna keep on touring in Europe, and then we'll see. Every album. That's the cool thing about releasing an album. You never know where it takes you. We're gonna go to play probably in Moscow, Istanbul, and we'll see where we end up. On the last album we played in London, but I don't know, we were not talking about yet. But it's like, so it's it's a big question mark. But hey, if we win, we're probably gonna be playing everywhere, and otherwise we're gonna play everywhere as well. So, so it doesn't make a big difference. We're definitely hoping that we can go on the road again because we're missing it. It's something we do for 25 years. And being on a tour bus together with a band, it's just, it's something we love to do. And we're missing that kind of, it's almost like being with family on the road, like it's 24/7 with 10 people or 11 people in a bus on stage, having all these stories, hidden stories that we can't talk about. So the album is a bit of an homage on the touring life. There's a lot of hidden stories there.
Okie doke. So my final question for you is, do you have a message for your fans at all?
Well, hopefully, we'll see you guys live, because in the end, it's great to record an album. It's great to release an album, but it's even more fantastic to meet our fans, And so it's really like something we're definitely hoping that will happen in fall, but in autumn, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, well, the only thing we can say to our fans is stay safe, like we try to do as well, and hopefully you guys enjoy our album.
Have fun in a safe way.
And then and probably when the album is out, we're gonna get reactions like, why didn't you go with this track to Eurovision? Why didn't you go with that track? Why did you go with this?
Next year.
It's that's gotta be fun to see, like a lot of people's gonna say like, yeah, but I think you should have gone with that. I mean, yeah, but hey guys, we decide. It's our choice. And we like the wrong place.
Yeah.